5 seconds to go. It is gracious indeed of so many heads of state and government to listen to this call of the movement of non-aligned countries. We are having informal meetings individually and collectively, joined by the President of the General Assembly and the Secretary General. Could 1983 mark a watershed in the history of the United Nations? This great world body was founded as a group of nations united in a wartime alliance. With the entry of newly freed countries, the end of the decade saw its expansion into a much bigger body. The next 30 years have brought about near universality in its composition. Today, because of the unique authority entrusted to it in controlling military crises through its instruments and its influence on social and economic developments through its various specialized agencies, the United Nations is an integral part of the lives of nations and individuals. It has not yet come near the beginnings of a global approach. Its progress has to be halting and tentative, sometimes unavoidably ineffectual in facing up to immediate problems because of the very nature of its origin and institutional structure, particularly the ideological divide, which was not envisaged by those who drew up the Charter. It is our task to improve this institution to make it capable of facing difficulties which were not foreseen 40 years ago. Some issues arouse intense feeling in individual nations, others our common indignation. One such is the persistence of racialism. How can the denial of freedom to the majority of the people of South Africa and the people of Namibia be condoned? I affirm our total support for the freedom struggle of the people of Namibia under the leadership of the Southwest Africa People's Organization and to the government and peoples of the frontline states which have to endure pressure and provocation. Almost my own first conscious thoughts were admiration for those who fought for freedom and concern for those who suffered. Nelson Mandela, a flaming symbol of freedom, and many others are behind prison bars, but their voices cannot be stilled, they resound the world over. The turmoil in West Asia remains the most serious threat to peace. Driven from their homes, the Palestinian people are in physical and mental agony. We support the valiant effort of the Palestine Liberation Organization to secure their legitimate rights. The occupation of the land of others will not guarantee Israel's security. The Palestinians must master in their home, and all state of the region should live within secure international frontiers. The voice of the non-aligned spoke out firmly at the New Delhi summit for a peaceful settlement which ensures justice. This call was endorsed and reaffirmed by the International Conference on the Question of Palestine held in Geneva in August and September. All parties concerned should begin the process of reconciliation. The sufferings of the people of Lebanon caused by the intervention of foreign force have been of great concern to all of us. Here again, the Israeli aggression triggered the crisis. We are relieved to learn of the ceasefire, which we hope will be maintained. All foreign forces should be withdrawn and the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Lebanon should be respected by all. The crisis in Central America must be urgently diffused. We should demand and support efforts to create a climate of negotiations without external interference. The non-aligned have always stood for non-interference and non-use of force. The complex situation in Afghanistan can be solved only on the basis of these twin principles. We fully support the representative of the Secretary General in working for a solution which takes into consideration and concerns of all the involved parties. The tragic and wasteful Iraq-Iran war harms both countries. Conflicts in other regions also, including Campuchia, admit only of political solutions. Militarily, today's leading countries are incomparably more powerful than in the days which a single gunboat could silence and immobilize millions. The weak are not so weak, nor the strong so strong. The essence of the concept of non-alignment is peaceful coexistence and the promotion of constructive cooperation. The non in non-alignment relates to the importance of resisting attitudes of irreconcilable hostility. The positive aspects are the desire of friendship with other nations irrespective of patterns of government which are their own business and to strengthen the fabric of our own nations. In India, we work for self-reliance in action and self-respect in thought. But this pride is for human achievement and human potential. Its justification would be our ability to discern the future beyond the gloom of the present. The safety of the weak is the strength of the strong. The strong, with the help of the rest of the international community, can think of measures to contain the enormous destructive potential which gives them illusions of strength, but whose very power is troublesome. It is welcome sign that the two most powerful nations are engaged in negotiations on vital strategic matters and have not allowed even serious incidents to deflect them. The Industrial Revolution gave a major turn to history. Out of it emerged industrial capitalism, and as a reaction to it, Marxism in its various forms. Together, these have given rise to the great social upheavals of our time. The two have followed different paths, but their ethos is basically materialistic. All that begins must end. What we have witnessed, the two world wars, the possible approach of a third, so much more destructive and disastrous, and the struggle for power are the end of the road for the existing order of competing systems. This is our last chance of appealing to the old and entrenched, not to infect the new with its diseases, neo-colonialism, monopoly, economic oppression, class divisions and big power politics, with militarization as the ultimate tool. For us, the non-aligned, and for all who are deeply concerned with the future of humanity, the question is whether we help the birth of this new creation or throttle it before it can draw breathe stop। दोस्तों इसी के साथ ये डिक्टेशन फिनिश होती है। पूरी उम्मीद है आपने इसे अच्छे से ही किया होगा। मेहनत आप कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं ऐसी मुझे उम्मीद है। पेपर सामने ही है तो आपको ये सोच के चलना है कि पेपर जल्द से जल्द होगा। आप जितनी ज़्यादा मेहनत करेंगे उतनी ज़्यादा इंप्रूवमेंट आपके शॉर्टहैंड में आपको दिखते रहेगी। फोकस हमेशा कीजिए क्वालिटी पर, क्वांटिटी पर नहीं, ये बात मेरी ध्यान रखिए। आपसे मुलाकात करूंगा अब अगली क्लास में अगले किसी ट्रांसक्रिप्शन के साथ। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर।